Okay, everybody. This is really awkward, but say it with me on three. 1, 2, 3. That game sucked big hairy balls. Let's talk about it.
Kirk trying to win it to Thielen, caught at the 5. I got 3 words for you. You like that? No! No!
What's going on, everyone? It's Nick back with Skull Network, and once again, the Vikings have managed to disappoint us. They just got their asses whipped by the Indianapolis Colts, led by Phillip Rivers, which, after how he played last week, I don't understand. Even with such a bad defense that we have, I still don't understand how this was able to happen. But let's just break it down. I'm not going to try and keep you here for long because I don't want to relive this as much as you don't. So let's just get into it. All right, so let's start with the obvious, or the multiple obvious. The defense did not show up. The offense did not show up. The play calling did not show up. Special teams even did not show up. Boom, that's all I got. See you guys later. Adios. Okay, I'm just kidding. But let's be real here. The defense is going to be a big issue this entire season unless the front office can go and get someone, anyone, literally at least one player to go play with those young cornerbacks, because otherwise they're going to keep getting torched. Today was Jeff Gladney's day to shine. It was his NFL debut, and he just kept getting turned around by guys that I'd never even heard of, aside from T.Y. Hilton. But it was just so hard to watch. And the defensive line, you got pressure one time, you got a sack one time on Phillip Rivers. Congratulations. The guy can't move for his life, and Yannick Ngakoue got him one time. And then you let a rookie like Jonathan Taylor go and rush for 101 yards on you and a touchdown. And even Anthony Barr got injured too. That's obviously going to suck if he has to miss any playing time at all, because Eric Wilson is not the most reliable. He cannot tackle this year, or in years past. It's just been hard to watch. And even Eric Kendricks had a few blunders this game. So it's like nothing is really sure on the defense. You guys saw it too. Harrison Smith got burned on that one shot to the end zone by T.Y. Hilton, and his ass was lucky that he ended up dropping that. But it was just a poorly played game all around. Time of possession was once again not in our favor, and that's on the offense too. But I mean, the defense has to help themselves out at least a little bit. But they didn't do that, and Phillip Rivers and the Colts offense took it and ran. They literally, guys I'd never heard of. Who the hell is Allie Cox? Really? Are we on YouTube or some other site? I'm very confused. I'm done with the defense. Okay, before I talk about the offense, I want to point something out, that when you go and you take a guy like Dalvin Cook and you pay him as much as you did, you have to give him the friggin' ball, okay? 14 rushes is not going to amount to anything. Cool, you got 60-something yards, you got a touchdown. That touchdown was, relatively speaking, in garbage time. I don't think that rushing stats are nearly the same as passing stats in garbage time, but I'm sorry. Dalvin got very little action today, and it showed with how the offense performed. You put up 11 points with arguably a top 5 running back in the league, a top guy in Adam Thielen, a promising rookie in Justin Jefferson, who I'll touch on later, and just a number of weapons, and things just were not utilized properly. So I think play calling needs to be heavily modified, and there needs to be some balance. This is starting to look like, what's his face? Who was the guy we had from the Eagles? Dil Filipino. You know who I'm talking about. It's starting to look like that, where things are completely unbalanced, and the passing game cannot survive on its own. And Indianapolis was able to tell that we were scared to run on them, and they didn't have to load the box much at all, because they knew that Kirk was going to be throwing, and they were able to get massive amounts of pressure on him, including on that safety. And granted, we shouldn't have been in that situation, but Kyle Rudolph had the penalty the play before, and that really set things up to self-destruct at that point. Not like things were going well before then anyway, but I mean, after that first drive, you think, okay, we come out with a field goal, it happens. Maybe we could possibly do something, the next series or the one after that, or even after that at some point. But no, it was just like last week. You drive down the field, things are looking good, your defense is solid. They were against the Packers. Today was not a very good day for them at any point, really. And, Kirk's play didn't help today. I'm usually a Kirk Cousins apologizer, but he had a 15.9 passer rating. And for those of you that don't know, those of you that don't follow football very much, that's not very good. And yes, he had 3 interceptions. 2 of those, okay, technically one of them was not on him. You look at it, he he was being a little too aggressive throwing to Adam on the one. That one's totally on him. The other one that went out, actually not out, but through old BC Johnson's hands and into whoever ended up picking that off, that one, it was a very bad throw. It was behind old BC Johnson, but he did have the opportunity to have his hands on it, and I'm pretty sure he did, and he still missed. So that one's not really on Kirk, but it is. And then obviously the Hail Mary, I mean, sure, go ahead, count it. Doesn't really matter. It didn't amount to anything. But man, it was just a tough game from everyone. Like I said, the only real bright spot, I mean, when Dalvin had the ball, he did make plays, but the issue was he didn't get it very much. And Justin Jefferson, led the team in receiving, 3 receptions, 38 yards, I believe. And, he had a couple of nice grabs. So that's the one thing that is promising, because special teams, as I said earlier as well, stunk it up too. And if you can't get any of your 4 phases of the game, offense, defense, special teams, coaching, to meld or do anything or get any ground going, then it's just going to be super tough. But before I end things off, because frankly I don't want to talk about this game much anymore, and I'm waiting for the Twins game to start here pretty soon, I want to point out a few things that I think are actually a positive that are coming out of this game. One, I mean, let's face it, Justin Jefferson, he's looking pretty good. Yannick Ngakoue, I mean, it was only 1 sack, but I mean, we finally got pressure. Number 3, think about it. The Minnesota Twins, after last night, they're a playoff team. Number 4, and probably the most important, is that teams that start the season 0-2 have about a 12.2% chance to still make the playoffs. So, essentially, what I'm saying is,
there's a chance.
There's a chance. Is it going to happen? Probably not. Is it time to start talking about tanking for Trevor Lawrence? Absolutely not. I am on a number of Vikings fan pages on Facebook, and all they did today was talk about getting rid of Kirk. F Kirk, he doesn't know what he's doing. The play calling's bad, but Kirk is just as bad. Let's get rid of him, tank for Trevor. And I'm like, you realize how much we have invested in this man? Yes, he's playing poorly. He's playing very poorly. But you're not just going to dump him out on the streets like a Colin Kaepernick sort of guy just because he's playing some bad games. Granted, obviously, we know there's more to Colin Kaepernick's thing than just bad play. But it's not time to hit the panic button on Kirk. As much as you want to say you want Trevor Lawrence, cool. He's going to be probably a great quarterback, but a few interceptions is not grounds for yelling that Kirk Cousins needs to be kicked off the team. Now, Zimmer, Kubiak, maybe. I don't know. Zimmer's supposed to be a defensive guy with a specialty in raising cornerbacks, and he's taking these young guys and making them look like idiots, and it just doesn't make any sense. So every single phase of this team needs to take this next week and look forward and essentially just get things aligned, because we have the potential. The pieces are mostly there, except for the offensive line and the corners, but the coaches are a big part of this. And if they're not able to get things in shape, then this might be one of the worst seasons I've gotten to watch. And I watched us go 3-13 and then proceed to draft Matt Khalil. Let me tell you, that one hurt, okay? But you know what? As I always say, feel like I'm one of the most optimistic Vikings fans out there. I always believe we have a chance to win, whether we're 0-15 going to play Kansas City in Week 17 or whatever. We just got to look forward to next week, reset our minds, and hope that all of the phases of the game that make up what a good football team is can just come together, okay? Please, this really hurts, and I am in so much pain, and I cannot stand this for very much longer. I am about ready to change into some Twins apparel because the Vikings have hurt me too much today, and I just want to feel better. Thank you. Good night. My apologies. I almost forgot to mention. If you're new to the channel and you like what you saw and you want to see some more, hit the subscribe button down below. If you really enjoyed this video, for some reason, even though I just completely shit on everyone's favorite team, give the video a like. And if you want to show other people this video, maybe you think I'm funny, maybe you think I'm a stupid idiot, or maybe you just want them to know more about what happened in the game, share it. As I've said before, the local crack dealer on the street, great place to go, let him know. Other than that, guys, I will see you guys in Week 3 picks coming out this upcoming Thursday. Adios.